Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. During my last video, I mentioned that there was a big adjustment with my fingers when moving from my Yamaha MODX back to my premium Clavinova. And I also mentioned that when moving from my Roland Fantom back to my premium Clavinova, my finger adjustment was not as much. And what I would like to do very quickly in this video is kind of touch on why the differences exist between the two instruments when moving from them over to my premium keys that are on my Clavinova. Okay, so here is my Yamaha MODX. And over here, I have my Roland Fantom 08. So why is there a big difference between moving from my Yamaha MODX over to my Clavinova and compared to moving from the Roland Fantom to my Yamaha Clavinova? First and foremost, let me talk about the similarities between the Roland Fantom 08 and my Clavinova. First and foremost, my Clavinova, the key bed has the standard size of a piano. And what that means is because they match in the standard size, my fingers don't have to adjust as much when moving from this instrument over to my Clavinova. If I were to stretch my pinky finger from one octave to, if I were to stretch my hand from one octave to the next, where my pinky finger is on C in the lower registry to one octave higher, the distance would be the same whether it's on this Fantom 08, my Clavinova, or a regular acoustic piano. Now, over on my Yamaha MODX, the difference between the two octaves in distance is smaller. So what does that mean? If I'm used to playing with larger distance on a regular piano, a Roland Fantom 08, or my Clavinova, that's fine. But moving over to a key bed that's smaller in distance, now my fingers have to get used to working with smaller distances. Okay, which makes it a problem if you spend significant time on it and have to move back to a standard size key bed. And that is what I've been experiencing. So what happens is, if I spend significant time on my MODX, my fingers adjust to it, no doubt about that. But what I've discovered is that when I move back to either my Roland Fantom or the Clavinova, my fingers are weaker because they are no longer conditioned to stretching a larger distance. So they have to go through a bigger readjustment between the MODX and my Clavinova because the distance, like I said, is smaller on the Yamaha MODX. Not to mention, the key bed action does not have the premium quality naturally because it is a cheaper instrument, compared to my Yamaha Clavinova. So having said that, I'm really glad that I got the Roland Fantom 08 because my adjustment is not as much. Plus, it is a portable instrument, whereas my Clavinova is not as portable. Well, it's basically a stationary instrument. So I have decided to keep keep the Yamaha MODX. And, some people might ask, why would you keep it if the adjustment is, it is that big of a difference? Well, the reason why is because it comes with incredible sounds. I mean, the voices in this instrument they're absolutely incredible. The only thing I don't like is the key bed. Okay. Now, there are some differences between, obviously, the MODX and the Roland Fantom 08. Just looking at it physically, of course, one big difference is on the MODX. Some of the differences between the MODX and the Fantom 08 is that on the MODX, the display screen is about an inch larger in length and height, or width and height. It's about an inch larger in width, an inch larger in height compared to the Roland Fantom. It's a little smaller. Roland Fantom 08. It's a little smaller. Now, other differences is that on the Fantom 08, we have 8 drawbars or sliding bars. We have 8 control knobs, 6 function knobs, whereas on the MODX, there are only 4 sliders and there are only 4 control knobs. Okay? I'm going to get into more detail when I start focusing more on the Fantom 08, but as you can see, it's got all of the sound categories out on the board where you can see them. Whereas with the Yamaha MODX, you will have to go through the LCD screen to find your voices or your sounds. So those are just some of the physical differences that are there. Like I said, the MODX has incredible sounds in here. Some are better than what I find on the Roland Fantom. Then, of course, the Roland Fantom has some sounds that I find are better in it. Okay, so that's the reason why I've decided to keep it, because of the great sounds that this instrument comes with. And I won't be spending a lot of time on it, playing it, but certainly in performances it will have its place depending on, the mission of that performance. So in my next video, I'm going to start getting more into my Roland Fantom. It is the latest instrument that I've acquired, and I look forward to sharing with you what it is that I have learned as I go through and study and work with this instrument. And thank you so much for attending, and I'll see you soon.